It's Atlanta's #1 hip-hop station, Hot 107.9 and home for the Ricky Smiley Morning Show. Of course, you know it's your folk, B-High. Radio shouted, stepping in the building. I got some A-Town players in this thing. My dogs, Baby D, Lil C, the Dylan tonight. What's good with it, fellas?
What's happening? B-High.
I mean, feeling good, feeling great, man. I mean, I just had to get some players in this thing that I knew could kick some real A-Town flavor with me. Y'all know what I do on this show, man.
Okay,
I talk about the city. I talk about the things we done seen, the things that we done seen turned up. And I mean, you can't talk about the A without talking about a legendary song that y'all two boys put down that, I mean, still goes crazy to this day, man.
Real talk, man. Eastside, Westside. You know, the boy Baby D right here checking in. If you don't know that, you know. My boy Lil C right here on the left checking in.
You already know Westside finest, Hollywood Road, you know, stand up.
Yeah, we in here, man. You know what I'm saying? What's up, B-High? You know, and that's crazy that you said that, bro, because it's like, you right. To this day, you can still play that record and still get the same reaction out of people that we was getting back then.
When it first dropped.
Can y'all take me to that time, though, man, when y'all created that song right there?
Well, it was a time when, like, the Nike Pavilion was open,
Warehouse.
You know, the warehouse and like the atrium was jumping. So it was like a point when it wasn't, you know, colors and stuff like that. It was more about what zone you was from. I'm zone 3, zone 1, zone 4, zone 6, you know what I'm saying? Or was it East Side, West Side, South Side thing. You know what I'm saying? So it was like people was just proud to be, you know, from a certain part of Atlanta repping their side. And we, you know, me and Lil C, we used to always go to the clubs and the kids, you know, the warehouse jumping around East Side. So we was like, you know what, let's make that a song, man. You know, I'm gonna be the East Side, you be the West Side. And you know, and the rest is history.
Talk to me, C.
Man, it was more, you know, like Baby D say, we was clubbing young, you know, so we seen a lot of things at a young age. And just going out and like you said, it wasn't about colors and gangs and all that. It was more of communities. And we wanted to rep where we was from. You know, if you was from Hollywood Road, Simpson Road, Martin Luther King, anywhere, you know, any club that you was in, I don't care if we went to Sharon Showcase on the East Side or they was at the Bounce, you know, wherever you was at, you was going to rep where you was from. And, you know, we was just, you know, by Baby D being from the East Side and then, you know, he was at the Discount Mall.
Yeah,
so,
man, you know, he just called me Baby D 285. Come all around the A, man. On the East Side, West Side, South Side, and North Side. Man. Got history all through these streets, man. You know what I'm saying? Atlanta, I seen Atlanta, you know, like grow from you know, being, you know, like a place where nobody listened to music. Was trying to hear what we saying. We had our own culture, you know, we had our own sound, you know, we had our own things that we talked about. To now it being the mecca of music. You know, I seen that transition. You know, me and Lil C was a part of that transition. So it's like, you know, that's one thing that I can say that we blessed to see that and learn from that.
Hey, B-High, that's one thing I do gotta say. I remember just riding in the Cutlass all the time, like me and bruh, and he be like, "Shawty, man, we gotta do something to change the game, bruh." And I was like, man, what you mean? He like, man, I'm telling you, we got it, like, because we had the image. Wherever we went, somebody always wanted to know, hey, what y'all doing? What y'all got going on? And Baby D had already had his thing going on and had singles on the radio before me and him even linked up. And, you know, so I just think it was just platonic. And once it got together, it was out of here.
Now, I mean, being on that Oomp Camp, though, man, at that time, you know, when it came to the clubs in the street, it was a stranglehold on that, man. I mean, how did y'all feel being able to go in and out of any club in the A and know that it's about to go all the way down when y'all going there with the music?
Well, you know, personally, it came from, like, me personally, like, I was in that area like a Sharon Showcase, you know. So I seen, and you know, the 559 era. So I seen when Sammy Sam and Raheem came in there and they used to go at it, and Kilo was going at it. So and when I remember when Master P first came down to Atlanta, he was in the 559. He brought the live band in there. They had the umbrellas and doing you know, the whole New Orleans thing that we weren't really hip to at the time, and they booed him off stage. You feel what I'm saying? So it's like us seeing that, you know, that kind of taught us a lot about being performers and being able to, you know, transition and do this type of music, do that type of music, you know, stay relevant because music at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying, it's about a feeling. And that's what we was trying to do. We was trying to make the crowd feel hype. You know what I'm saying? We want you to be proud where you from, so we want you to feel this type of way. So we gonna make this song to make you jump around, and you know, and then that's what the Oomp Camp we was about. We was all about getting crunk, so we want to start a fight. You know, we coming in deep, we throwing bowls, we stomping, we you know, we coming in to crank the party up. So all of that was just one thing that drove us to make that type of music, and for us knowing that it's like, you know, it's like what CeeLo said. You know, it's like you never. Every time you hit the stage, it's like hitting the stage for the first time. So every time you come to a performance or you come into a club, you don't know how these people gonna react. It was just that we were blessed to get the love that we was getting, and we still do to this day. You know what I'm saying? I'm still in Decatur. Lil C still on the Westside, walking around like every day, just like me. Exactly. So we still got the love from the city. You know what I'm saying? Black the Dealer. You know what I'm saying? He from the West. You know what I'm saying? Rapping. You know what I'm saying? So it's like we still got that Southern hospitality that was instilled in us from back in the day, you know what I'm saying? And that's what kept the Oomp Camp strong. That's what keeping us strong now. You know what I'm saying? Big shout out to Big Oomp, you know, the whole squad. You know what I'm saying? Monte, Lil Corey, Big Corey, he rapping now. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, that's just at the end of the day, it was a family orchestrated, you know, movement that we had, and we still do it to this day.
Now, what do y'all think about the city now and how it's changed from that time back then, though?
I mean, now.
Talk to me, C.
Hey, man. Being from the city and knowing how we roll, I just feel like it's time for the city to stand back, and the people, the founders and the pioneers got to stand back and get back together and take back over our city because, and I'm not downing nobody from out of town or anybody because, you know, from Freaknik, this always been the city to come and party and do everything. But I just think because we talking about the old Atlanta, and Baby D, we'll vouch for this. It will be, you said how we moved through the clubs. Wow. Back then, man, Lil Jon would be in the club. Bone Crusher would be in the club. T.I. would be in the club. So it was just like more of us, everybody was doing a movement at the same time and just pushing. So like he said, it was a family. Oomp Camp was a family. Raheem had his own family. T.I., PSC, they had their own family. Dro was with Rocco back then, you know. And everybody was forming their own thing, but as a whole, if you was from Atlanta, we all moved together. And that's what I feel need to come back into the music. Because a lot of people has clicked up and they look at it as money. And music don't equate money until you start selling an album. And a lot of people is putting too much out there and really don't even know what's really going on out here. And it's just a misrepresentation.
What I say, do what I say. I say just, you know, we should just do a birth certificate check. And see if you got graded hospital on it, you know where you were from, where you were born at, and that really would, you know what I'm saying, resolve a lot of problems because you know like my family I was born and raised here, so I was instilled with the dirty South. You know, with the whole red clay, you know, getting whooping with switches and you know can't leave the fence, the street light come on, all that. I better look out this door and see you right down the street. Like it wasn't no video games. Now we used to have to go outside and play. Yeah. And then you come in the house and you get in the shower, the bath till you go to bed. Yeah. And you go to sleep. And then you know what I'm saying. So it's like that's what I feel like. That, you know what I'm saying, a lot of people is missing because a lot of people who come into the city, you know what I'm saying, they not from Atlanta. They just, you know what I'm saying, moving with the trends. Mm-hmm. You feel what I'm saying? So, and what they, you know what I'm saying, it's all the hype. Yeah, so they moving with the trends, and sometimes when you got too much going, you know what I'm saying, people trying to move with the trends, at one point in time, it's going to get old. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? We had the Weasels. Remember we had the V's, Baby Nate shoes. Yeah. Like, you know, the what it is, fat FUBU, platinum FUBU. You know what I'm saying?
You know,
like we,
Red
like now
Monkey.
you can't wear none of that right now.
Yeah.
You just paying $500, $600, $700 following the trend.
Iceberg.
After a while, it just goes out of style.
Yeah.
And that's what's, you know what I'm saying, I think that's really, happening to the city as the core of the city. You know
Now, what do y'all think it is, though, man, that locally a lot of folks don't work together and hold each other down like they should, though?
It's really egos.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you a good example.
Yeah,
I'm gonna give everybody a good example, and everybody can relate to this. If you look at every group that ever existed, they always break up. Every group.
Yeah.
I'm talking about you can be together from the mud.
Yeah.
Sleeping on the couch together with each other. And I'm talking about never ever with no life would you ever think that you would never be around that person. When that money come into play. Yeah, when that money come into play, or you got more girls than I got, or you bought this new car and I couldn't get this car. Yeah, or when I hit the stage, you get more screams than me. You know, that right there is some people that don't know how to take that. You know what I'm saying? And that's one thing about me, what has given me longevity in the game. And I'm going to give this advice to future artists coming up. You know what I'm saying? Always play your position. It can only be one quarterback, one wide receiver. You can't.
You can't. Now.
You gotta have subs. That's what I'm saying. But as long as you come to the practice, you're gonna be on the bench. You're gonna be on the bench, but you're gonna still get that Super Bowl ring if you never get in the game. But you know what I'm saying? So you gotta just play your position and don't try to outshine the next man. Move as a team, and your whole team can win.
Nah, I mean, speaking of teams, I mean, you got that boy Dilla in the building, man.
Yeah,
Black Dilla,
man. Hey, man. You can ask the streets about the Dilla, man.
Yeah.
Robinson Road, man.
Yes, sir.
You know, me and Baby D got a new record coming, you know what I'm saying, called Flexing. I got a new project finna get ready to drop called Palm in the Bushes, you know what I'm saying? Dope Boy Grammy out right now, you know what I'm saying? They can go get that live mixtape, spin roller, whatever you want to look at. Man, I'm just working, man.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, is y'all jamming, though, D? I mean,
man,
it's
we jamming out of
crazy. Tell me about it, man.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy.
It's a good club record, man. You know what I'm saying? We made this one without trying.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it just had a good feel to it when I heard the track. Shout out to Juggernaut. We be around each other all the time, but we just didn't, you know what I'm saying? We don't even be working on music because we family.
Exactly.
And we just kick it.
And like we was saying earlier, that's the chemistry that, you know what I'm saying, artists that I'm working with, artists that's working with me, that's the chemistry I want to be around with. It ain't about the music. Music gonna happen.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's about the chemistry and the person that you dealing with. You feel what I'm saying? And Black didn't never do no music. If I seen him, and he'd still get the same love. You know what I'm saying? Because they're my dog. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, speaking of families, man, I mean, there was a time that we could catch y'all around the Black Mafia family.
Free
For
meat.
sure. Free big meat.
Talk to me
J-Bo.
about that, because during that time when you got BMF in the streets, I mean, it's tsunami and in the
Yeah,
club.
man, wasn't nothing but some money here, man. I missed that too.
Talk to me
Man,
about
I'm
it,
gonna tell you this, dog, and you know what I'm saying. I'm gonna say, free big meat. You know, that's the big homie. You know what I mean. It's a lot of big things coming up. You know what I'm saying, with that situation too. So y'all just be on the lookout for that. But when me being, like I said, from Atlanta, I think, and what I don't even think, I know that those that you know what I'm saying, the whole BMF family was the first people I ever seen make it rain. They set the trend for Atlanta to be popular the way it was, as far as foreign whips, you know what I'm saying, foreign cars. You know, we used to ride like old schools, like M&M cars and Skittle cars with rims on them and stuff like that. Like that was my dream, to have a Cutlass on some foes. You know what I'm saying? I can pull up on them beating with 412s in the back. You know what I'm saying? Wood grain stirred with. I could take off and walk through the mall with flex. Like you know what I'm saying? But what he did was, He raised the standards for Black people as a whole to let them know that they don't have to settle for what they give us. We can get exactly the same exact thing that they have, you know what I'm saying, or the next person have. We all put our pants leg on one leg at a time. If we want to go buy some Gucci stuff, we can walk in the Gucci store and buy some Gucci stuff. You got money, they gonna sell it to you.
Yeah.
You don't got to be ashamed. It's like, he kind of broke the barrier between, the Atlanta, the dirty South country, you know what I'm saying, thing. So you know what, they really got some money down there. They really having fun down there. I want to go to Atlanta, and now it's the #1 social city in the world.
Exactly.
Another thing I have to say, man, Meech, J-Bo, IP, Blue Da Vinci, everybody, they showed a lot of people that was from different states and different regions how to be brothers and move as one.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And, a lot of people get that whole BMF misconstrued. At the end of the day, you seen it, but behind those, it was a lot of talks. It was a lot of lessons. It was a lot of knowledge spent. You know what I'm saying? That's why we out here and we can still move the same way we move, because, if you don't step on nobody's toes and you're not the problem and you're not coming to cause a problem, why should you fear to move any kind of way? You understand what I'm saying? And they showed me, and I can say, and if it wasn't for my brother, you know what I'm saying? We taught each other a lot, man. And one thing about it, this interview right here is history. It been a minute since me and my brother been on an interview. So, and I tell anybody, they always ask me about him. And I tell them that's my bro, he doing his thing, And boy, it feel good right now to be right here. You know what I'm saying?
Now, when y'all think about those times, man, I mean, what was some of y'all favorite times back then getting busy in the streets, though?
Clubbing. Women.
Well, yeah, me personally, my favorite thing was like doing the unthinkable, like pulling up in like 6, 7, 8 Lambos, about 5 Ferraris, like, you know what I'm saying, and then coming with like, women that you would see normally in a video.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Coming through and just seeing the reaction on people's faces, like what is going on? Then coming in your club and standing on your bar, and then we gonna buy like 50 to 60 bottles, and everybody gonna have a bottle, and ain't nobody got no money in their pocket, but everybody gonna have a bottle. Because if I don't got no money and you got some money, then we all got money. And that was how we was trained. You feel what I'm saying? So it's that, one thing that I miss, you know what I'm saying, about just being out with the fam. It wasn't necessarily about going to Miami, renting mansions out for 3 months. It wasn't, it wasn't nothing getting on a private jet, flying to Mexico, got LeBron out there, you know what I'm saying, kicking it with us before he was Bron. But you feel me? Like before G's, everybody, it wasn't that. It was, you know what I'm saying, being able to know that no matter, you know what I mean, what the situation carried, that you had somebody you could at least talk to, or somebody that was on your level. You mean? So that's what I miss about it, really.
I can dig it.
The talks, the knowledge, being around the big homies, to the world, they giants. To us, they our brothers. So, it's just like, when I look at it, we got homies doing 25, 30, missing their families. Yeah. And I pray for them to come home every day. So I just miss kicking it. Yeah. Clubbing was fun. And, like he said, doing the unthinkable. But, I just miss the loyalty. And that's just one thing we shown, loyalty. And at the end of the day, if you don't stand for nothing, you're going to fall for anything. And, that's what I miss. So free the big homies, free Meats, free J-Bo, free IP, everybody who's still doing time in the whole mall,
Already. Now, see, I mean, I know you're an entrepreneur, man.
Yeah.
I mean, tell me about the hustle, man. And I mean, getting to the money out here, starting businesses, flipping money in different ways other than just the music.
I mean, I started with my detail business first.
Yeah.
I was in the Blue Flame Lounge parking lot. Shout out to Mike Cato, Miss Jackie, Miss Kelly, everybody over there, the whole Blue Flame, man. That's family. Yeah. And just from that, I just seen more. I wanted to do more. Then I opened up my restaurant, High Tower.
That's right.
Martin Luther King, H.E. Holmes, but we call it High Tower.
I mean, I'm a High Tower, so you already know how I feel about that, man. I've been pissed.
So I did Famous Fish of Atlanta.
Yeah.
Did real good. I had very loyal customers.
Yeah.
Shout out to all my customers. Thank y'all for supporting. Yeah. But during that time, I was in school. So I was juggling too.
Getting busy.
So I had just got my degree in carpentry.
Yeah.
Then I was coming back for my second round.
Yeah.
Getting my construction management.
Yeah.
So accounting was kicking my ass. So, it was a decision. I was just like, hey, man, I want to shut. Do I flunk in school on some bigger stuff, or do I shut a business down that's at its top and I still got a good following and revamp?
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at right now. I'm revamping. I'm looking for a new location.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to get over there near the new dome.
Okay, hell yeah.
I got some options. Mm-hmm. I'm just waiting it out. But just it's a new hustle. Oh, and I just try to tell the youth, man, us coming from music, look deeper than just rap. Mm-hmm. Because you got an engineer, you got a promoter, you got a CEO. Everybody want to be a rapper. Mm-hmm. I went over to the school and talked to some teenagers over at Douglas.
Yeah.
And it was just, I went on Youth Motivation Day, but it ended up turning into a mentorship. And I talked to like 40 kids, man. I'm talking about they need us. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. They need us, the kids need us. And I'm talking about what they doing to the APD schools in at Douglas. Being an alumni, Chris Brown, what up, man? I got to bring the alumni back to the school because they are changing a lot of things within the community. And if we claim the Westside and we claim the hood and anything that we're doing for the community, we got to stand up.
Exactly.
And you know what I'm saying? Take it back. So that's one thing I just said. I said I wanted to do something more than just music. And when I came back to the school, I wanted to have more attributes.
Yeah.
And to be able to say that, they listen.
Exactly.
And then certain people remember my face, and to put the two together, they was like, "Wow, you did this, and now you doing this." Mm-hmm. It was very welcoming, and it was very warm, and so I just took from that day to say, "Hey, man, keep pushing, keep persevering, because you don't know who looking." Yeah. So got to keep pushing.
Already, I can definitely dig that. D, tell me about the music, man. I mean, what's really good with it, my dog?
Man.
Talk to me.
Everything going on, man. Mm-hmm. Music, movies, soundtracks, writing. Yeah. Got the label AMG right now.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So, I'm blood into the music, man.
That's right.
This is what I love to do. You know what I mean? I played instruments when I was, younger in the band. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I played the violin, piano, you know what I'm saying? So I'm a musician. I'm not just a rapper. You know what I'm saying? I'm a musician. So I love music. So I've been devoting all my time to just straight music. Music. You know what I mean? Getting my campaign together right now. I got the new single, Too Much Flavor, with Young Dro about to drop. The Dab on the record going crazy. City Don't Sleep. I've been over there working, with Juggernaut, same producer, you know what I'm saying? The Me and Black been working. Yeah. Been just networking with other artists, you know what I mean? Just getting it in, man.
How is it for you now running a label versus just being an artist?
Well, with me running the label now, it's more like you get to actually see the insides and the outs of the business, and you get to make your own deals.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? So it's not like, okay, you give me $60,000 and I'm gonna blow you up. You feel what I'm saying? It's not like that. It's like, okay, you give me $60,000, I'm gonna blow me up. You feel what I'm saying? You know what I mean? You ain't finna go, you know what I'm saying, tell me my video costs 10 bands and it costs you $200.
Hey.
You feel what I'm saying? So you ain't capping and feeding, you know what I'm saying, feeding your habits and stuff, you know what I'm saying? But not making sure that my business handles. So that's what I learned, you know what I'm saying, it's music business.
I mean,
it's
break
business.
Down that business to me from both of y'all perspectives. I mean, being in the game, being out front, being stars, holding down the city. What were some of the valuable lessons that y'all learned out here, man, maneuvering in these streets?
Learn your paperwork.
The same way you come up, that's the same way you come down. Mm-hmm. I done seen people come up, easy. One hit, wow. They made it. You know what I'm saying? You still been grinding for like 10 years, 20 years, 30, 40, 50 years trying to make one hit. And these folks come out the blue, bow. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Make one hit, but just same way they came in, bow, there they gone. They gone. You feel what I'm saying? It's about being relevant. It's about staying relevant. It's about, you know what I'm saying, changing with the times. Music changes every 5 years. So learn, like Lil C, learn your craft. I know me personally, I got the glow now. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm so ready to go. But when you hear some of the new stuff that I got, it's like I'm ready to go. You know what I mean? I've been around, you know what I'm saying, other talented artists, like I said, like Black. You know, my boy Big Swisher. You know, a couple Mexican rappers. My boy Nilla. So it's like I've been able to see, you know, different people that's on this, like I say, the same thing I'm on. They going in, you play the track, they busting the raps out, no pen and paper, no pad, we going. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I had to surround myself around that environment to, you know, step my game up. So now, okay, dang, that's what I got to do. Cause if I'm trying to write with paper and do all this, I ain't gonna make the cut. So it was like, you know, I learned, I just learned and like master my craft, you know, and just actually just became, you know, the best, you know, at what I want to be, and that's like in 2020. Yeah, like I'm trying to be like the next Dr. Dre, not the next Jay-Z. Cause what I want to do, in the Master P, you know what I'm saying, one of those people. Like I want to bring that same movement back. Like, well, okay, if I get on, I'm signing everybody that can rap from Atlanta. I'm putting you out 12 songs. I don't care what you look like. If you got some bars, you get a deal. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna be greedy. I want to put everybody on. 50 album coming. I got stuff coming out in 2025. Yeah. You feel what I'm saying? Like that's what I want to bring back to the industry. Period. Because there's enough money out there for everybody. But people, like you said, they ain't trying to invest it back into a next person crowd because they scared that you'll take their spot. And then once you take their spot, it's like, you know, but me, if I take your spot, you still gonna be on me because you put me on. Yeah. You feel what I'm saying? Like, but this type of people you deal with. Like, if I get on, you know, you on, we all on. Exactly. And that's what I learned more about, you know what I'm saying, being on the CEO side, you know what I'm saying, than being on the artist side. It's a music business. It's 98% business and 2% fun. So you gotta learn the business. Whatever it is, points, whatever it is you trying to do, it's a business behind it. Exactly. So learn the business before you go in there and try to, you know, and negotiate. See.
One thing I can say, learn the business. You gotta have structure. Gotta move as one, because like anybody know, everybody want to be a chief, but it's not enough Indians, and it's not wrong to be Indian sometimes. Stop backstabbing. Envy, greed, drop that. Let me see. It's move is one, man. We got too much division right now. That's what I can say. And one thing that I learned was learn the paperwork, learn your split sheets, learn who get paid first, who get paid last. And you want to always be the first person at the top of that totem pole so you don't feel left out. So, and that's one thing I learned. I had to step back and learn the business. I still rap, but I had to stand back and learn the business. I'm finna build me some studios, you know, and keep pushing, you know, try to do something for these youth.
Already.
You know, put a studio together. You know, I want all the at-risk kids.
Like they say, if you want to be rich, you got to have 10 hustles.
Yeah. And that's real.
Never lied.
You want to be rich, you gotta have 10 hustles. You might be selling T-shirts. It's the God is Dope shirts. Mm-hmm. I was reading up on them. He was like, you know, he was in the streets and he, you know, he do the music too. Yeah. But he said he made the most money out of them God is Dope shirts that he ever made in his life. Just selling them shirts.
More than
so it's like you gotta have, you know, music. Don't rely on all like my grandma used to tell me, you put all your hands in one basket. All your eggs in one basket. Don't put everything like I'm depending everything on this rap. Yeah. No, like this, that's a door opener.
You gotta know how to market.
Yeah, you gotta market and it's like a door opener to other things. You know, movies, you know, production, writing, you know, reality shows as you see now. It's like, you know, it's a door for opener for everything.
Now, D, I know you got a party coming. Mm-hmm. I mean, where you turning up at, man?
Yeah, I'm going to be turning up at Angel Lounge, man. Every Sunday, you know what I'm saying? It's the Eastside takeover, you know what I'm saying? What we doing is we just opening up a platform for all independent artists, you know what I'm saying? Young, old, you know, it don't matter, you know what I'm saying? Just to come out there and just display, you know, they new music, whatever they got going on. They might have artists like me, like I run with a bunch of youngins, you know what I'm saying? Young, hot, you know what I'm saying? Up and coming groups, you know what I'm saying? So I take them out there and just let them, you know, just let them get their feet wet. Let them, you know, see how they work with the crowd, see how their music sound. So it's a good platform basically for you to come and be heard.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I ain't gonna say it be 1,000 people in there. I ain't gonna say it be one person in there, but it be enough people in there for you to be heard and for them to tell somebody else.
Exactly.
You feel what I'm saying? So, you know, every Sunday I do it at Angel Lounge right there next to Scrogers.
Yep.
Can't get out the Eastside, so that's where we at. You know what I mean?
Well, fellas, man, I appreciate y'all coming through this thing, man. I mean, y'all got anything y'all want to get off y'all chair?
Hey, man, shout out to the Westside. Shout out to the whole Atlanta Technical College graduating class of 2016. I was one of them. And all I got to say is, man, look out for it, man. Everything, you know, we're going to build. I'm finna rebuild the Westside. That's one thing I'm gonna tell you.
That.
You know, I got the degrees, I got the construction background. I had to do it. I'm finna go buy up some property, finna revitalize the West Side and bring it back because the belt line is changing now, and they taking over. And I all I can do is stutter because. And when you ride through the West Side, you can see it changing every day. They finna put $8 million on our Martin Luther King. So Martin Luther King finna be totally different. So I want to get in, you know. Yeah. And you know, Black, I'm telling you, it's going down over there, you know.
Man, anyway, I can turn my money over to something else, man. You know, I'm with it. You know what I'm saying? But, yeah, man, we at 255, man. Come out there this Sunday. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Angel Lounge out there, whatever. Yeah, me and Baby D finna drop this new single, Flexing, man. You know what I'm saying? Real shit.
Yeah, y'all be on the lookout for that, man. Then you can follow me on Baby D AMG. Go to www.babydamg.com. That's my website. So, you know, it direct you like to all my links, my YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, everything, you know what I'm saying? So everybody stay blessed.
Yeah. Follow me, Lil C, ATL, that's Lil C, ATL, Instagram, everything else, you know, I don't be on there, anything else. Facebook, but, you know, Instagram, I'm there. Holla at me.
And follow me, Black the Dealer, BLACKDADEALER, Instagram, Google me, Dope Boy Grammy Entertainment, Instagram, you know what I'm saying?
So big shout out to the Oomp Camp too, man, you know what I'm saying? You know, big on DJ Monte, Jelly, you know what I'm saying? Big shout out to the Young Bloods, you know, Outkast,
Lil John,
you know, Lil John, Eastside boy, man, Bone Crusher, you know what I'm saying? A Down Shame. You know, what's up?
The whole city, man, the real Atlanta, man.
People probably ain't heard that name on the radio in a long time, man. You know what I'm saying? What's up? Ghetto Mafia. How y'all doing? A-Town Players, you know what I'm saying? Mr. Cool, DJ Threat, you know what I'm saying? The whole Geek Squad, everybody, man. What's up, man? What's up, ATLians?
Man,
yeah, man. That's what's up.
Wish y'all number the best and much success.
Oh, go ahead.
Be High Radio shouted. It's Hot 107.9, man. Let's go.
Bye-bye.